Welcome back, friends. So glad you could join me today. Today I have another quick tip for you, and this is how to floss a corset. So a while back I made a video showing you how I made this corset, and I realized that I kept talking about how much I love the corset flossing and how much I really love all the detail and how corset flossing is like the best part of the corset, but I didn't even show you in the video of how I made it how to do the flossing. The reason I didn't film it was because it was pretty time consuming and I just didn't have the energy to pick up the camera at that moment, so I kind of skipped over that part. So today I'm gonna show you guys how to floss a corset. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is you want to design your flossing before you floss your corset, because it's always good to have an idea of what you're doing before you do it. So I think today I'm just going to show you 3 designs just for fun. So I'm going to show you how to bone, or how to floss one bone and a double bone. So I'll show you how to do multiple bones as well. So for you beginners, I think I'm going to do something a little bit more easy. So I'm going to do this X pattern that I did on my corset. And this works great with multiple bones. Now, if you have watched my corset videos, you will know that some corsets have flossing going directly through the bones, because sometimes the bones have holes and you can floss it through the bones. I won't be doing that today because I don't have the patience to put holes in my bones, so I think today I'm just gonna do just some regular flossing. Let's see, the next design I'm gonna do is gonna be also on this double bone, and this is another one that I'm copying from my corset. And it's kind of like this flowery design. Corset flossing can be as decorative as you want it to be. There's really no rule to how fancy you can be. You can be as fancy as you want. Alright, so we've got 2 designs. Okay, we'll try this one because this one was quite fun. Actually, I think I'm gonna do 4 just because I want to try using a daisy chain stitch on one of these. We'll get some creativity going. Maybe add some French knots as well. Alright, so here's how it's going to go. I'm going to show you some simpler designs for the beginners, and then as we work up we'll start doing something a little bit more complicated for those of you who want to try something a little extra. These ones aren't too hard, but I don't know, it really depends on what you feel comfortable with. So the first design we will be doing is this X design, and this one is good for multiple bones, and it's also good if you're a beginner and you want to do something a little bit more simple. So I will be using this sample here that I made. This is just fabric with a few bones in it. This is not an actual corset, but it'll do. You want to select a needle that has a pretty large eye, and the eye is just this part right here. You want to be able to put the floss through it. You also want to make sure that it can go through your fabric with ease, so that you don't have to be constantly like pulling it through and it keeps getting stuck. So make sure that you have something like that. For the floss of the corset, a lot of people like to use silk thread. I like to use standard embroidery floss, and this is, it's really fun to use, and it comes in like so many different colors, and they cost about 50 cents per little package of it. This is a This package, it was about $1, and it just comes with like a lot of different colors. Actually, I don't know, it might have been like $5, but you can just buy these individual colors for like 50 cents. So for my corset, I ended up using just two or three of those individual spools, I guess. I don't really know what they're called when they're just alone. I don't know. But for my corset, I have a lot of bones in this corset, which is why I used so much floss. But yes, 2 or 3 will do you for a normal corset. So here I have some kind of cherry rose colored embroidery floss, and this is just left over from my Elsa coronation dress. So I'm going to use this to do our little sample here. For this particular sample, I cut my floss to be twice the length from my arm to my chest, and this is just going to be helpful so that you can pull it through without getting it all tangled. So what I've done here is I've wetted the end of my floss, and I'm kind of flattening it out because this actually helps it get through the needle. And this is the tricky part, is actually getting it through the needle. I might do this off camera just so, because it's hard to do. Another thing I should mention is I have folded my thread over itself. So this is going to make the thread twice as thick, because if you'll notice on my corset, these threads go through the same spot twice. So if you double thread it like this, it really helps. Once you have gotten your floss through your needle like this, you're going to start pulling the needle all the way to the end of the floss. And when you come towards the end, you should find this loop here, and you're going to take this loop and you're going to, let's see, it should be like this. You're going to open it, pick up the 2 threads underneath, and pull that through the loop. And when you do this, your loop should become secured to your needle. It should look like this. Next, you're going to knot the end of your floss so it doesn't pull through your fabric, and then we can start the flossing. So you're going to want to start on the underside of the fabric because you don't want that knot to be visible. And I'm just going to poke it through just on the far right side, so this comes out on the left side. And sometimes it's a little bit tricky to get that needle through with this little knot on the end, so that can be tricky. So make sure that you don't add too much thread, too much floss. So if you put 4 strands of thread, you might want to do something to kind of reduce the bulk around the eye so that it's easier to pull through the fabric. All right, so we've got this through. It should be secure. And I am going to go right up the middle, and you should just poke it in between those 2 bones. Pull that through. Now normally, I think with embroidery, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you go to the next spot without wasting too much thread back here. So usually you would want to go to the spot that is closest. But with corset flossing, the purpose of this is to secure the bone to the fabric. So what we're going to do is actually go back around here and wrap this around the bone so that it can secure that bone. You can either do this or you can make an X on the other side. And for some reason, it does not want to pull through. There we go. All right. Now we should have it here. And next we're going to poke it right through the middle once more. And now we have a completed X. And from here, I'm going to wrap it around my bone once more just to get it extra secure. Then from there, I'm just going to go back through the same spot as before. And sometimes you have to pull it tight in order to get the thread to sit nicely. All right, from here, we're going to wrap around this bone, come at the same level as everything else, and we're going to go back down through the middle and wrap around the bone again. And then back up through the middle. All right, so we finished our 2 X's. So all we need to do is just knot this end, and we're done flossing that bone. All right, so next we're going to do this design, which I have done on my actual corset. So this one is a little bit more decorative, and it's really pretty. So I'm gonna go back to the bones, and this time I'm gonna start going through the middle of the bones. So pull your needle through, and we're just gonna kind of work our way up. So I'm going to go to the side, wrap around, go back through the middle, and this time we're always gonna keep returning to this particular spot because that's where the thread is going. So we're gonna put it through again and then go back to the middle. And I believe I had 3 more stitches. So we've got these 2 stitches here. Now we're gonna start going up a little bit more higher. So jump a couple inches, probably like 1 inch or 2, 1.5 inches probably, and go back through there. Now we've already wrapped around the bone a couple times. You can go back down here if you want, or you can kind of skip up here if you don't want to waste too much floss. And you can join it back down the middle. Now, instead of doing the final stitch here that goes right through the middle and up, we're going to actually do that one last. So repeat this part on the other side. All right, once you've done that, you're going to end up with the thread on this side. I'm going to keep calling it thread just because I have a habit of doing that. You're going to go back down, but you're going to go underneath all the stitches, and you should come up right underneath. Actually, you don't want to be that far underneath. You kind of want to be just beneath all those threads. So pull that up, and then to finish this off, we're going to go straight up through the middle and a little bit higher than everything else. And what this is doing is it's kind of containing all of those pieces, or all of these stitches in one. Next, tie a knot, and you're done with the second design. Alright, so the next one we're going to do is a little bit more adventurous, and it's going to be this kind of geometric crisscross pattern. And this one's a little bit tricky to do because the placement needs to be very on point. So we're going to start by making an X much as we did here. And because this is a single bone, you just kind of wrap it around, bring it back up, and back through here. Now, I did mine quite small. You actually kind of probably want to make this a little bit wider, but I'm just going to continue anyway. You're going to start making another X, but you don't want, and you want to go in between this stitch and this stitch, but you don't want to go straight through the middle. You want to go down closer to the bottom, and I will show you why. So we're going to go to the bottom, go above this stitch just a little bit, pull that through, come around above, just above the other side, and go down right next to this one.
now you have 2 X's. This one actually probably would look better if it was a single piece of floss instead of a double piece. Then you would be able to see the X's better. But anyway, now we're going to do one more X, and you're going to do it right in between this stitch and this stitch. So you're going from this stitch and this stitch. So you should come up straight through the middle. And you're going to go once again just above the last stitch. Beautiful. Come around just above the other stitch. And then go right in between this stitch, and it should be symmetrical with the other side. I know it's really hard to tell because the floss is really thick at the moment, but you should end up with kind of a geometric type pattern. So you kind of have these X's. It kind of looks like a fishtail braid when you're done with it. And just for fun, I think I'm going to add a French knot, and I did this on my real corset as well. So yeah, this one is a very tricky one to do, but if you can get it down with enough practice, it'll look super cool. So to do a French knot, you're going to bring your fabric thread directly right under the bone. I'm right under the bone, and it looks like I went through the bone, but I'm right under it. Bring your thread to the left side, put your needle here. Let me zoom in so you can see this better. And you're going to wrap around, so you've got your thread, you've got your floss here. You're going to wrap it around your needle, probably 2 or 3 times. And then you're going to point your needle back down, pull it through, if I can get it through, and you should end up with a cute little knot here. Alright, I ran out of pink thread, so I'm going to use this light blue floss. Alright, so we're going to start just below the bone so that you can go straight through that middle. And you're going to want to bring your needle back down through the same spot you just came up, and you are going to try and not to catch the knot. Focus, please. You don't want to catch this knot on the other side, otherwise it will tangle. And you're going to pull that back through. And don't pull it all the way through. You're going to leave yourself a little loop here. And this is going to be like a little flower petal. So find a good spot for that loop to sit, and you're going to bring your needle up through that spot. And push your needle through that loop. Pull it ever so slightly, just a little bit tight. And you're going to put your needle back through just a smidgen above the stitch you just made. And this will give you a nice little flower petal. And I'm going to go down and do it again. And I mean, it's pretty hard to not pull your thread too tight, otherwise it's going to look a little funky. So try and make sure that you're not pulling it too tight, as I am. I'm just getting a little excited. Pull it through. Find that loop. Sometimes you have to maneuver the threads around a little bit. This time go higher. Make sure that this loop is not twisting when you pull your needle through it. Pull it just a little bit taut. It can look a little bit funny when the threads are kind of wavy like this. I don't know what's going on. And we're going to repeat this on the other side. Okay, so this right here is evidence of why it's easier to do things off camera because it's hard to do this while looking through the camera. So as you can see, this is a lot neater than this over here. So yeah, it should look more like this. Alright, so next we're going to go right up through the middle again. Actually, I think I'm going to go back down to the bottom this time. Pull it through. I'm going to go up here. Kind of move that off to the side. And I'm going to do a French knot at the top. So pull the thread to the left, wrap it around the needle, and go right back down through the fabric. And we have a French knot. And because I'm running out of thread, I'm just gonna go to this other side and repeat this same part. And we're done. Alright, so here are all the designs we've made today. I had so much fun doing this. I think personally I really like this design. I also like this one because it reminds me of a butterfly. But corset flossing is really fun, and with some practice you can get some really good designs. So I recommend just playing around. I find it really helpful to look on Pinterest or Google Images to find inspiration for corset flossing because there are so many things you could do with it. You can make them multicolored. You can make them kind of maybe go all the way through up the bone. I don't know. You can do whatever you want. But I hope this was helpful, and I hope you were inspired, and I hope that you got the information you need out of this. I'm going to move the camera so it's not completely blocked off. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment. I love helping you guys, and I love all the wonderful support you give me here on this channel. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a good day. If you would like to see my corset video, I will post a link down below. And if you're new here and you would like to join our little community, you can subscribe, or you don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. I don't care. You do you. But I love having you here, and I love all the amazing support you guys give me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.